Hello, back to Stories to Share, another week. And today I have a great story from ⴍᴜ. He is, I think, a mentor. Not only he was a mentor for Tony Robbins, for many big, brilliant minds out there, but he's an inspiration and a mentor for many people till today. Just listening to him, to his stories, the way he tells the stories, the way he inspires with his words, with the choice of his words, it's absolutely brilliant. So I recommend everyone to learn a little bit more from his philosophies, from his life philosophies. I recommend to read about him, to watch his videos, to listen to the amazing messages and teachings that this man has left to us. It's unbelievable. So today I bring one of the stories that he mentioned in one of his seminars, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. At the end of the story, you think about a lot about things that sometimes stops us from moving ahead, about the way the relationship with haters and all these things online that people are always concerned, especially people that are creating content, people that are bringing value online through videos, through different platforms, writing, blogs, etc. So when you have some comments that are negative, or these hater comments, I think after this story you're gonna watch and think it's gonna completely change the way you perceive and you look at this. Right, so here it goes. So that's how the story starts. An interesting story says, the day the Christian church was formed, a magnificent sermon was preached. It was a great presentation. In fact, it was one of the greatest presentations of all time. According to the story, this presentation was given to a multitude of people. There was a variety of reactions from the audience. Now, what is fascinating is that everyone was listening to the same sermon, and there were so many different reactions. Some who heard the presentation were perplexed. Now, he said, I read the presentation, and he thought that it was a pretty sincere and honest and straightforward presentation. Why someone would be perplexed? And the best answer he got was that maybe some people are just chronically perplexed, and it doesn't matter who was preaching. These are the kind of people that will always be perplexed. Some of the other people who heard the presentation mocked and laughed. They made fun of the presentation. And he said again, I cannot understand, because it was a very sincere and honest presentation. Why would someone mock and laugh of a sincere presentation? And his explanation was simply, well, they are the mockers and the laughers. What else could you expect from them? And now, some of the people who heard the presentation had no clue what was going on. They were completely lost. They had no understanding whatsoever what was the presentation all about. And they were the people who usually don't know what's going on. Now, finally, some of the people who heard the speech chose to believe. And I think that's what the speaker was looking for, the believers. And those believers numbered about 3,000. Now, Jim said, that's a very good first day. I could never imagine having 3,000 people on my first presentation. I mean, who could imagine having 3,000 people on your first presentation? And here's the moral of the story. Like with anything in life, some will be perplexed, some will mock, some will laugh, some will not know what's going on. And you just have to leave it at that. In this particular story, as far as we know, nobody tried to do classes later trying to de-perplex the perplexed. As far as we know, they left them perplexed. They left the mockers mocking, the laughers laughing, and all they needed to build their church was the believers. And they knew that if they did more presentations, more believers would emerge from the masses. And that's the perspective we all need to cultivate. We simply cannot win everyone's attention, dedication, and belief all at once. All we can do is work on ourselves, on our beliefs first, redefine our philosophies, and then do the best we can to share our story, believing that the believers will be there.